morning, everybody. Yes, so I'll be presenting Kintavar Exploration, probably for the first time for most of you. It's a brand new company that got listed a year and a half ago. Not too many people heard about it, so I'll definitely try and give a quick 15-minute introduction to all that, forward-looking statement as usual for all the junior exploration companies that we are here. So I focus on three things. When, in my opinion, when you're looking at an investment opportunity, you should try and get the structure, the project, and the people. If those three are good, I think we are in a pretty good location. So for me, the share structure is very important because, as you can see here, when we started the company and we focused on a share structure to be very solid, and when you make the right discovery, you have a good opportunity to do this, what we see there. So that was late 2017, early 2018. We made a Stratform copper discovery in Quebec, and that discovery helped us raise $10 million with all the Quebec funds that you see at the bottom right. So today, the company, at the end of June, we were at 9.3 million. So today, we are probably just under $8 million in the bank for a company that has been public for a year and a half. Very interesting discovery in the first year of operation. Shares outstanding, 80 million shares, fully diluted 100 million shares, and a share structure divided between four main groups, so Geomega Resources, another public company out of which I'm president CEO as well. Quebec funds, institutional Quebec funds, management and insiders altogether, we own 24%. The largest one of those investors is the Quebec Pension Fund. They invested $3.75 million in the most recent financing. I'm proud that a big chunk of my investors, 25%, is represented by a private group of investors from the region where the property is located. I'm happy to say that because many people say they have lots of support from the local investor, from the local people, but not often they can say that the local people own 25% of the company. And in our case, the local community is a big supporter. And then the float is approximately 28%. We had some share weakness in the recent months, and as we know, after the summer that we had and the 7 months of stability that we had, we got caught in the game like everybody else. So what is our property? So one thing for sure, if you know Quebec, we have the traditional northern Quebec areas, Val d'Or and north of it, where we have lots of gold deposits, lots of exploration, and everybody knows about it. But south of that, what do we have? We don't really have much exploration, not much mining in there. We are in the Granville. So Granville is not known traditionally, so Granville Geological Province is not known traditionally for exploration. There are some iron ore mines, some graphite mines, but except for that, not much else. So geologically, it's a much more complex area to work. We got into there based on some historical work from 1971 by Noranda. We followed up on some of their skarn discovery. But what we found out that it's not skarn, it is actually a stratiform copper deposit, similar to what we see in the Congo, to what we have in Poland. And actually, because of that, we think we are looking at a very large deposit here in the future. But being in the south gives a huge advantage for us. We are 4.5 hours north of Montreal. We are fully accessible by road. The area is covered by a power line. So on site, we have multiple camps. Those camps are used by logging companies, by Hydro-Quebec in the area. So the camp on site that we have, the best one, is right now 150 people capacity camp. There is a power line that comes to that camp as well, so that can host so large camp, roads, and electricity. So that's very positive for us. The property is royalty-free as of recently, as of this summer. And now what are we looking at? So we are looking at the sedimentary basin that got folded as part of the Granville Geological Deformation. Now, that basin that was probably over 100 kilometers long before, today got squished into approximately 15 kilometers. So those 15 kilometers, on surface, we see three corridors that stick out, and you can see those three corridors there. In the north, we have Nasigon, Ispana in the center, and Sherlock in the south. So this is the Sherlock Corridor. That was the main discovery. So Noranda thought that that was a skarn deposit because they saw marbles mineralized with 0.5% copper. What they did not do at the time in 1971 is actually trench it and strip it. That's exactly what we did last summer, and we realized that the mineralization is much more extensive than what we usually see in a skarn deposit. We were able to connect that mineralization with mineralization present in the center, which is the Sherlock Corridor, and then we were able to correlate that with mineralization in the north. So 15 kilometers, 3 corridors, every single time the exact same chalcocite, chalcopyrite, and bornite mineralization. So what does it give us? If we look at the south corridor, Sherlock, basically we have a horseshoe pattern that was identified by geophysics. On top of that, magnetics. On top of that, we do IP, we do soil geochemistry, that gives us targets. We follow up with trenching. Once the trench results are positive, we go and we drill underneath it. I'm talking here about 4 kilometers of strike length mineralization that we were able to demonstrate on surface. With the drill holes of 100 meters plus of 0.3 and higher % copper, this is becoming a very interesting project for us with the access of infrastructure that we have already. Now, what does it mean moving forward? So here's an example of Sherlock from last summer. So if you look here, this was the first major trench that we opened up and we identified 0.49% copper over 21.4 meters. We went and we drilled underneath it. What did we get? We got 0.42% copper over 83 meters. We got 0.34% copper over 120 meters, and then 0.31% copper over 130 meters. Those are all step-out holes to the east, to the west, and to the south. Now, this is a discovery of a recent trench from this year, Conan, 12.1 meters of 0.48% copper. We trenched as much as we could in both directions. After that, the overburden gets, the soil gets a bit deeper, so we had to stop, but this hasn't been drilled yet. So this is the type of exploration that we are doing. Very simple to follow. You find the magnetics, you follow the IP, you follow the soil geochemistry, you find your trenches, you drill underneath. And this is how we managed to demonstrate 4.5 kilometers already, and it's growing. Now, next, if you look at the zoom in of Sherlock, so the main Sherlock drilling was done here. Since then, we have discovered Watson, Irene, and as the horseshoe extends, we find more and more of those zones. We have 007 in this direction. So the area, the units are continuous, they're folded, and when I say folded, what do I mean? This is what we see. So those are marble units that are squished and folded, and we keep drilling the same unit several times in the same drill hole. Now this appears to be very easily amenable to open pit, and we suspect that deposit in the future will get developed as multiple open pit project. And this is very simple for us to operate. Now in the north, we managed to demonstrate that in drilling we intercepted 7 parallel zones over 1 kilometer on surface and in drilling. And as we keep advancing, we keep doing more and more of the work. We keep extending all those mineralized zones, and we hope that each area, each one of those corridors, Sherlock, Ispana, and Nasigon, will have a very good continuity, and each area will be able to host several open pits. Now, this is the Ispana corridor that we just started working. We'll be doing more follow-up work. No drilling, no trenching has been done on this area yet. What's Stratform copper? As a quick summary, one of the largest sources of copper on this planet, besides the porphyry deposits that we have in Chile and in Peru. Stratform copper are mostly known for this big deposit here, the Katangan Basin, and the Kupferschiefer in Poland and in Germany. Overall, those sedimentary basins are, with copper mineralization, we know they exist, but they've never been known in that setting where we find them now in Quebec. That setting is the unique situation that we're dealing with. And we think as more we learn about those systems and more as we keep finding similar type of anomalies in Quebec, we think there's more of those stratiform deposits that got hidden by the geology when it got all metamorphosed and folded. So we staked actually 2 other properties north of where we are right now, which could be extensions of the same sedimentary basin or other sedimentary basins that had mineralization, including some of them that had cobalt mineralization, which is very exciting for us because we know that some of the stratiform copper deposits in the DRC actually do have copper and cobalt and not only copper and silver. Next, I think we all know why we need to invest in copper. It's a very underexplored commodity. The majors are there for the large projects. If they don't invest, not too many other people invest. And all the majors like only very large projects, which why this project attracted so much attention in the last 10 months. We have, in general, more properties within our portfolio. I won't go into too much details, but I'll just show you that map. And the main thing that I want you to take from this slide is it's a very good address. So this is all the Cisco camp. This is where IAMGOLD is actively exploring for several projects. We have a property just in between IAMGOLD and the Cisco, and another property here sitting between two IAMGOLD properties. So very good address, and I think we should be able to do something very interesting with those projects in the near future. We are not a project generator. We are really focused on our flagship copper project, Michi. And those are properties that we have there. My geological team is very solid. It's the team that discovered the Eleanor deposit in northern Quebec in the 2000s. Alain Caillet is our VP of exploration. He's here with me here for this conference. And so the team is very solid. They know how to select those properties. They know how to identify areas that are underexplored, go there. We usually focus on think outside of the box, come up with different thinking, different ways of approaching geology that has been neglected. If we do our risk analysis properly, we usually can come up with very interesting targets. And that's how we discovered the Michi project, an area that nobody really worked on for the last 45 years. You come in there and within 1 year, we make a discovery. You have to always readjust to the commodity pricing, to the changes in the environment, to the changes to the infrastructure. And that's how we were able to bring a very interesting discovery into Kintovar. So a very solid board. Pierre Bertrand is our Quebec government representative, not officially, but he was president of SOCEM for a long time. He recently retired and joined us. David Charles, a mining analyst for base metals for his career, joined our board as soon as he retired. Maxime Lemieux, a lawyer. Mark Billings, very involved with many companies on the TSX venture for mining exploration. Myself and Alain and our CFO Ingrid strongly focused on Quebec exploration. And Michel Gauthier, our advisor, who has been involved with so many discoveries in the last 20 years. And that's pretty much that.
Yeah. We do have time for questions if there are any.
I like doing my presentations. Great.
Okay. That's great. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
2, 1, 0, and liftoff. Liftoff.